Hello, everyone, and welcome to CSEL Conversations. Today we have with us Dr. Lisa Fiore. She's a professor of education at Lesley University in Boston. Her research interests include early childhood assessment, social emotional learning and development, resilience, and child and family homelessness. She's also the director of the Child Homelessness Initiative in Boston. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. We're thrilled to be able to have this conversation with you.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here. So this book grew out of research that a dear friend and mentor, John Dacey, he was my mentor when I was doing my doctoral work at Boston College. Both he and I think it's fair to say, come from a long line of anxious people. So when you grow up experiencing certain things, you have an interest in them already. So his expertise is in the adolescent and adult realm, and my expertise is in the early childhood area. So we thought, oh, great, let's put our expertise to work together to try and alleviate some of the anxiety that we know exists in humans. So the COPE acronym, which of course, the word cope comes from a strong belief in the sense that we all are stronger when we develop skills to cope with things that plague us. So in this case, if we're talking about anxiety, the goal for this particular book is how do we help children develop the skills to cope with anxiety? So the letters of the acronym COPE, or the word COPE, stand for C is the fundamental one, which stands for calming your nervous system. So any research into or in the area of mindfulness will anchor you in breathing, for instance. So this gets into the physiological parts of our existence, thinking of how we can slow things down, breathe, teaching children, for instance, to take their pulse, to notice their heartbeat. It's really amazing when children recognize, for instance, that they can feel their heartbeat, forget about counting whatever number they get, but feel their heartbeat, notice their heartbeat, then do some breathing or visualization, close their eyes, and notice how their heartbeat slows down. So this gets into the psychological and physiological research that taps into this notion of being aware, breathing, feeling centered, etc. So calming the nervous system, which slows down the process of these anxious thoughts. It interrupts the cycle, if you will. Then the O in COPE stands for originating an imaginative plan. So here we put that creativity to work. What is a plan for dealing with or coping with these feelings? So a lot of humans are wired to avoid, for instance, oh, I'm afraid of spiders, so I won't go outside, or I'm afraid of speaking in public, so I will never talk in this classroom, for instance. But helping children to originate or create a strategy that might push them to take a little risk and notice, hey, it's not as terrible as I may have imagined. So this is an opportunity to tap into the creativity and collaborate with a child to develop some sort of a plan. Then the P stands for persisting when obstacles may arise. So persisting in the face of obstacles. We know that the best laid plans sometimes don't work as we would hope. So really encouraging children, this is that resilience part. What do we do when our plan doesn't work? Or it's raining today, I couldn't do this, or this person went left, I thought they would go right. But how do we stick with something instead of abandoning it? And anyone who's ever attempted to set a long-term goal, whether it's a diet, an exercise regimen, a work goal that we'd like to accomplish, you know, we might want to shoot for the moon, but we, as we get older, realize that sometimes those bigger long-term goals require those shorter baby steps kind of goals. So the P then helping students, children persist when things get tough, let's say. And then the E stands for evaluating the plan. So you put the plan into action, then you sit back and you reflect. How did it go? What would I change? What felt good? What felt not so great. So how can I keep going with this plan next time? Because it would be delightful if all of our anxieties vanished once we had one measured success, let's say, but we know that things have a way of popping up, or we find new things to think about.
Mhm.
So that